We are in Theodore Roosevelt National Park now. We are at the trailhead of, what does that say? Because it's backwards on my thing. Peaceful Valley Trailhead. We're not actually hiking Peaceful Valley. That is like 9 miles or something. We were going to do a different hike. Laura had a work obligation in an hour. We couldn't do the original hike that we were going to do, which is 5 miles. So we are just doing it. It looks like it's a culmination of a bunch of little parts of trails. Go to see a creek. It's a 1.5 mile loop. So we're just doing that to get some exercise. We've been working a ton for the past 2 days. Yeah, the name of it is Lone Tree, Ekblone, and Jones Creek Trail to Paddock Creek. That's why I couldn't just say it off memory. So here we go on the snow. The trail is pretty snowed over currently. You are looking at the very first time we have ever snowshoed. We started on the trail. We were walking along that, and that's just all weeds. So then we walked up on the snow and we sunk right into it. This is fun because when we first got to Theodore Roosevelt National Park, ooh, sunk a little there. When we first got to Theodore Roosevelt National, it said that it was supposed to snow 2-3 feet, and then that decreased to 6 inches, and then it only like dusted less than an inch. So we were kind of disappointed. We were all excited when we were looking at the weather to be able to snowshoe for the first time. So with the dusting, we thought we weren't able to, and now here we are snowshoeing. We actually got to use them. Don't need our shoes for this, but we will in a second. Goodness, I can't imagine like having to run in these things. You look pretty cool with your sticks. You look all official. Give me a good snowshoeing walk.
I don't know how to walk.
Well, you're looking like a professional right now. Not bad for $35 each from Sierra Trading Post. So here we come up to the river. Normally, for the marked trailhead, if we were following the actual trail, we would have to cross here. Obviously, that's not going to happen. It is currently late May. Everything's melting. Water's running pretty quickly there. So the trail we follow actually pulls a U-turn and goes along the edge of the river. I'll look on all trails. We have some white sage right here, and man, does this stuff smell good. Give it a whiff. Go ahead, give it a whiff. Isn't that great? So when we look silly and we're walking on mud with snowshoes, I just want to say this is why. You can maybe pick up the depth there. It's definitely thick at parts where we would be sinking in. So yeah, when we're doing a lot of this on the trail and we look like idiots, just know the snowshoes were, oh, that's cool. Look at that ice. That's pretty cool. Just know that there is good reason that we are wearing snowshoes. It has helped in several occasions. It's just off and on.
Yeah, you're like this.
Wow. That's crazy how big that ice is. That is huge. Video can't pick up the mass of this ice. So I'll just walk a little bit closer so you can kind of get some perspective. Look at how thick this ice is. Here's my hand. Gotta touch it. Like, that is some thick ice. And it just broke through at the power of water. There's some huge slabs over there. That is cool. This rock is also neat. There's like this thick layer of black on there. You don't look happy.
I'm cold. Bro, I'm cold.
Isn't it May? I mean March? We're just talking.
April.
Oh, it is April. Wow, this whole time I've been saying it's March. Can you tell that I'm excited about my snowshoes? A man and his gear and his wife. All in all, we probably didn't really need the snowshoes for this. It's been convenient in spots, I suppose, but we could have made it without. But just wearing them makes me feel like it was worth my investment a little bit. I bought them not knowing how snowy it would be and didn't want to get stuck inside, so just glad I got to use them. Oh yeah, this is a good section here. Snowshoe invincible. It's really starting to come down a bit. Very pretty. For the record. Oh, that's pretty cool. She said it was snowing where I was, but not where she was for a second. For the record, video keeps turning backwards to video Laura because she's terribly slow and
I'm so slow.
no, that's a joke. She keeps pausing to get pictures. Just don't want anybody to be like, "That's dragging her back." She's not.
A lot.
She's making me enjoy the view. Actually, is what's happening. This is cool though. This is a nice snow.
It wasn't supposed to snow.
Yeah, but it is, and that's pretty. This Florida girl loves the snow.
Not in April, I'm over it.
Boy, do you feel silly when you are not on snow. I'm kind of tempted to take it off because it looks like a lot of the snow drifts are gone on this part of the trail, which, by the way, loops right back around to where we started and then continues. Our car is way over there. You see that little red splotch? So we looped all around through those woods over there and came back here and walked up back along this barn thing here. What I was saying though is I was tempted to take off the shoes, but I don't want to end up in snow drifts again and then have to go through all the work of putting them on again. So I think it's best to just kind of feel silly and struggle in the mud for a bit. Yeah, see? You can see there's bigger drifts up over there. So we'll just wait for that. She's going back to the car. She has a meeting that she has to be there for. I'm going to continue. It's just 0.4 more. But it's 15 minutes till she has to be at her meeting. So I'm just going to continue on. Goodbye, Laura. I love you. So this is where it concludes. You could go right across there. There's the sign. A moment ago, I was eating my snack right there and doing an Instagram live for my parents. And I got startled a few times just sitting here in isolation with Laura. And I hear, you know, it's so quiet. I love my wife, but I love the isolation. It's super nice just sitting here alone. And I got startled a few times because this ice is melting through and crumbling. So you'd just be sitting here in complete silence and then there's my sound effect. How you like that? It all crumble. Made me jump a few times. Well, yeah. Now I will proceed back to Laura in the car. All right. We are about back. The snow has definitely softened. Even though it's snowing, it's fairly warm out actually. I was walking and I could see the depth of my steps on the way to this hike, and then on the way back, like you can see our tracks there, then on the way back I would be stepping in similar places. My foot was sinking a good 2 to 4 inches in. I got snow in my boots. Right now my foot is wet. Probably should have had taller boots, and I should have tightened them, but at the same time it's a 2-mile hike, so I don't really care if I get a little water in my shoe right now. About to be back at the car anyway. I am going to join my wife in the car. I can see my wife's lovely head. Here we are getting ready to go on a hike. It is the Petrified Forest Loop. This is our longest hike so far, which is a-okay with me. As I struggle to get my pack out of the car. This is a 10.1 mile loop, and I'm excited because we haven't really been able to hike Theodore Roosevelt very much. We came in early April, and so a lot of the snow has been melting and made it so that a lot of the hikes are impossible to hike to completion because they have a lot of, I am struggling. They have a lot of river and creek crossings, and those rivers, like the Little Missouri, they are very fast moving with big ice chunks in it, impossible to cross. So we actually had to go in to the visitor center and talk to a park ranger, and he told us to try the Petrified Forest because he said there are no river crossings. This is our trailhead right here. We have basically had to spend the week working in our camper, a lot of drives. We went on one short hike that you saw, but Laura, how are you feeling before this hike?
Superb.
Very good. Here we go. So we just passed a kind fellow back that way. He said he came up here for a trail run and it was pretty unpassable is what he said. He said we are better equipped. I mean, he was here for a trail run. He didn't have a pack, sticks, or anything like that. So we'll see how much of this we'll be able to do. It would be very disappointing, especially, I mean, you heard what I said at the beginning, that I'm excited to be hiking because all of the melting snow has made it tough to be able to actually hike. Really hoping we'll be able to continue, do the full 10 miles, but I don't know, we'll see. He said it was rugged, so I'm getting my sticks out as I talk. Pretty cool rock formation we got right here. It ain't moving. It's very stiff where the rain eroded it away. It's pretty cool. Continue. So the hike is mostly a loop. It's about a half mile to the base of the lollipop, and now we are going to go on the lollipop. We've each shed a layer. It's kind of funny, when we first got to the trail, we were like, oh, we should have brought this warm clothes. We should have brought this warm clothes. Then we just got a half mile in and we're like, whew, it's hot. We need to shed some stuff. So we shed some stuff. I'm down to my favorite marmot windbreaker. There's poop everywhere. And back to it. We were hiking along and we saw this bird up in this tree. As we've said in a previous video, my mama loves birds. So Laura's trying to get a good shot. I am not walking closer because I don't want to scare it with my big old clunky feet that aren't very big. I wear size 10.5. Ooh. You can hear her giggling. Wow. We've got our first signs of spring right here. Pretty orange flowers blooming through the snow. And Laura's still trying to get a shot of that bird. She sunk down to her knee at one point, trying to get past it. Now here comes heavy old me. I'll definitely sink unless I use my sticks. Okay, I want. Oh, you can see it. I'm gonna go a little bit this way. It looks less deep here. Oh.
Doing great, dear.
Thank you. Thank you.
Much better than I did.
Although I got a little bit of snow. This is signs of an accident. She sunk way down in there. Gonna try and get her stick for her.
That's how that guy bled, remember?
Oh yeah, yep.
That's what he was saying.
There you go.
I think I might be bleeding underneath my leggings.
I hope not. All right.
Like you see my butt. That's my booty. Whoa, that's I'm going over.
Yep. We're going to pause at each post so that Laura can get a drink. Oh, she got snow in her mouth. At each post that we see, though, we're going to pause to get a drink. And it looks like coming up, we have our reason for this hike being called the Petrified Forest. That's pretty muddy, pretty gritty. It is cool landscape. So I will have to do research after the fact, but I'm pretty sure that petrified does not just mean afraid. I'm pretty sure it's some sort of process of fossilization of trees, which is why this is called Petrified Forest Loop, because we have like stumps of trees, and like this right here, it looks like wood chips. Like you can tell that that was a tree at one point, and it looks like wood chips, but these right here, you can hear, these are rocks right here. So the tree got fossilized, which is pretty cool. And there's a whole bunch of these you can see along the trail. And I said that like a dad or a teacher voice. You can see them along the trail. And now, to the right, we have some real deep snow. You can tell that this drifted. There's a stream up under there. And that is real deep. You're just tying your shoe.
Struggle.
This is crazy. There's just like a giant sinkhole right in the middle of the trail. Like that is deep. So we'll hike up and around that. Hopefully there's no more of that. That'd be terrifying.
Right there.
Oh. Yeah, not as bad though. That is crazy. That is so deep. Sinkholes. Again, we will go up and around. Make sure we're being as safe as we possibly can. I paused my hiking video for a second there. We had some more petrified forest, some more sinkholes. We came up over a ridge. And now the main canyon-y parts are over there, and we're hiking up here in a prairie. And yeah, if you're ever interested, go ahead and follow my Instagram. One of our Instagrams, we have Pretty Gritty Campers. We also have Dreaded Vagabond on one of the two. Usually I do it on mine, Dreaded Vagabond. I do live feeds of the hike for short little sections. So if you follow Pretty Gritty Campers or Dreaded Vagabond, then you will be able to see some live feeds where I just talk and where I'm just quiet and we are hiking. We have a really weird turn right here. Snow like melted kind of from underneath it. And it's like a turd mushroom. It's like a pet name. Come here, my little turd mushroom. I teach elementary and middle school. The other funny thing with the turds is that, well, there aren't any around. With the deer droppings, they're like, you know, little pebble size, and they'll just kind of like melt into the snow, and there will be these little divots. Just kind of an example with a little turd right at the bottom. It's funny. Looks like we got some bison way over on the horizon.
That's cool.
Right there. Oh, that is cool. The way that is melting. Okay. Here's something you don't see every day. Don't know how Laura saw it. A bug crawling through the snow. It's an ice bridge
I need to run across it.
for your ninja training.
Real. Whoa.
Good job. Here we are, making our way across the big field. I'll turn the camera around. We're getting a little bit closer to the buffalo, but I'm not concerned like I was at Wind Cave because they have open hike policy here. I didn't know whether they did or did not at Wind Cave. If you think that they do have open hike policy, go ahead and comment it. That would be great information for all to know. There's some buffalo coming up here on the left. Not quite as concerned because we can, if we have to, just cut through the loop. And I'll switch the camera here for you. And they look a lot closer in real life. Video never quite captures distance well. But yeah, we'll just keep our eye on them. Make sure to keep a safe distance and continue on our way. Trail a little bit. All the snow coverage got us off. You can see it's there. We came from that direction. Kind of trucked ahead just so I could find where the trail was. The snow is melting fast, and it is melting deep. Oh! Whoa! Let's go up around, which is annoying because we just got back on track. But I think this is all going to be real floody. So let's go up around because that's higher hill. So. We reached the top of the loop. If we wanted, we could continue on the trail, and you can see the markers off in the distance there. But where that post is, there's a switchback, which I guess I could show here. What we have here is the switchback, you can see. What we're trying to decide, there was a whole herd of bison over there. Right on our trail. And I saw some markers in the distance that looked like it went around them. So we're trying to figure out if we just kind of go back the way we came for a while. But it was really miserable. It was pretty flooded in sections where it's like over the boots. And so we're having to go off trail to avoid walking through shin-high water. Or go back right and risk having to loop way around the bison. Which actually is probably the plan we'll do, because we know for sure that this way is uncomfortable. And this way maybe could be, it looks like it's higher ground, so maybe less flooding. So that's what we're trying to figure out. Probably go that way. If we start heading towards the bison, then we'll loop way around even further to the right off trail with the open trail policy. Nice part. We reach the tip and we get a pretty cool view here of the valley. back. Brought our headlamps. We'll probably be hiking in the dark. And so I may need my solar charger to charge my headlamp if it comes to that point. We are at 4 miles out of a 10-mile loop. So obviously we took the shorter section of the loop and now 6 miles back. So yeah, so long, see you in a bit. I checked all trails and we actually didn't finish the loop. And it was, instead of that post, it was actually that post. And it was kind of killing me that is like we went all this distance and didn't do the last whatever few hundred feet just to finish the loop. So we were like, all right, we'll just go up. And I'm glad we did, because based off of what we had hiked, I thought that the buttes, the rocky formations, were only on the right side. I assumed we were on kind of the outer limits of Theodore Roosevelt. But now heading back towards this post, there's a bunch more on this side. So we are actually on like this prairie plateau that kind of sticks out through maybe the heart of Theodore Roosevelt. So that's kind of cool. It gives some different perspective. And so then, yeah, once I get to this post, we have reached the end of the loop, and then we will head back. Now we made it. Touch the pole with your stick to reach completion of
What if I can't reach
the Petrified Forest trail.
Does that mean that I didn't make it to the end?
That does. And you failed. No! We made it.
Trail stuff. Just going around the herd.
We passed on the other side of them on the way. They are right in the center of the circle. Actually, that's where our trail's supposed to be, but we just... Yeah. I don't know. But it is a cool view. I wish the camera could really capture. And we have another herd coming up here, and we're going to pass away to their right as well. Booking it right now. It's cool, like the trail goes right along these hills here, heading back towards the car. If we were to go straight, that goes right past our camper. But we are going back to our car, so we will go back to our car and then to the camper.
You don't have skis, do you?
No. Oh boy, here we go. Do you get a drink? So you hear Lord grunting behind me. Her knee is really hurting with all this downhill. It has not been great for her. Those are some weird formations there. This is actually the trail. We're walking right down. There's something pretty cool. I wish I had the strap for my phone because I would video the actual walk down it, but it's just a tiny bit too precarious to do it without using both of my hiking sticks. So I'll just have to show you. stream, reflecting the light. However, it also puts the thought in my mind, do we have to cross it? There wasn't supposed to be any stream crossings on this trail, which is why we chose it, but that very well could be because of all of the melting snow. So I guess we'll find out shortly. Hopefully it'll be shallow enough that we can just go through with our boots. If it's not, then we will take our shoes and our socks off. We will cross. We will dry our little toesies. Oh God, why did I say that? We will dry our feet. We will dry our feet with a jacket and put our shoes and socks back on and continue.
Whoa,
after our toesies are dry. There's a fine line between quirky and just deserving of a sideways look. And sometimes I cross that line.
I don't think this is one of those times.
Toesies?
What else you said?
What? Here is our trail. And that's where we continue. There's our next post. We will indeed have to cross. All the water's flooding down through there, bringing life back to the valley. Spring, a time of renewal and life. As water rushes down through the valley, it brings with it much nutrients from the hills above. Yeah. And we're down the bank. Looks like it's fairly shallow. I don't know, maybe it's a bit deep there.
Well, we could cross here, a stick, testing the depth. Yeah, if we can get right up there, that won't be bad. What is it? Okay. This is deeper though, much deeper. Yeah, I think the widespread means that it's more shallow, and then where was I gonna cross? That seems pretty deep, and just a second ago I didn't feel like it. Shallow, shallow. Okay, that's not bad, and that's kind of rocky. Woof, woof. Maybe I can go across and see if there's a log I can set across or something. Or we can try working our way upstream this way and see if there's a better place. You want to try that?
To that, I don't think you could though.
Nope.
So
Your pants are getting wet.
And then see if I can find something to lay across, because it's flatter over here.
Your pants are wet, by the way.
Yeah. Oh. That's wet. All right, I'll see you. Oh, quite the adventure there. I got across, but both of my boots got completely soaked. And my socks completely soaked. I got across, but I had to get completely soaked in my boots in order to do so. So then Laura's on the other side, and we're trying to find a way for her to get across, because obviously the way I got across was not the most effective. So then I had to take off my shoes and socks, and I crossed back over so that I could find a place for her to cross over. And at the end of the day, she took off her shoes, her socks, her pants, and we made our way across. Then we had to dry our feet with the fleece like we had kind of previously planned. And so then we got across. The nice part is, the thing that I am so proud of is I have in our packs little emergency waterproof bags. And in those bags are a pair of dry socks. Always bring an extra pair of dry socks, and this is why. Because otherwise I would have to hike back the last however many miles with completely soaking wet socks and shoes as the temperature drops here in North Dakota. Wow, look at all that. And keep in mind, this is all melted snow. So that's really cold water as well. So it just felt good to be prepared and for that preparedness to pay off. And we continue our long and perilous 10-mile journey. And here are my soaking wet socks and my fleece that had yeah, now have some mud on them.
Looking good here.
Thanks.
Your pack back here.
Yeah.
You have like your jacket, fluff in, and then your two socks. Yeah. It's funny.
Upside down, but whatever. It's kind of cool. You can see the path where we came down the hill through the valley. We were up on top of that for a good while, so that's kind of cool.
See the post over there.
Yeah.
Come here, snip some. Snip some for me.
Bison hair from scratching himself on the pole. Came up from the valley, a bone. And we continue on. Oh shoot, there's a bison up there. There's a bison up there, so we'll have to find a way kind of around him. Large, beautiful animal right on our trail. And we're like 8 miles in. That's great. That is a cool shot though. I said that is a cool shot though. Away from me, so that I can be safe. Where seldom is heard a discouraging word. Hold on.
Paul is currently singing to the buffalo because we saw buffalo right on our trail, and usually where there's one there is more. We have no idea what's over that hill, so
is where our footage ends. Start intense music. I'm making my way over and hidden Bob stops between Paul and I. Bob runs around the hill where Paul's at. Paul comes down. Sunset is setting in quickly. Bob clearly hates us. Paul and I have no option but to make our way up and down 3 steep ridges with snow up to our waist to avoid the herd. Paul calls 911 to let them know we are off trail and to mark our last location as a precautionary step. I'm a mess because I've watched way too many I Shouldn't Be Alive episodes from the early 2000s. We see an elk majestically appear on top of a ridge with a beautiful sunset color behind him. We believe this is our goal. After 2 hours off trail and trudging through snow and cliffs, we get to the top of our goal ridge and see a trail post and the back half of Bob's friends. We're still fairly close, so we sing and dance our way backwards and continue through miles in the dark. Petrified Forest trail it was.
thanks for watching.
If you would like to join us on our journey as we travel across the country from national park to national park, please like and subscribe. Thanks again.